Hi guys, following on from this weekend's Eurovision madness, I want to talk a little bit today about why Conchita Wurst's victory might matter. So, as you all know, Conchita is a drag act who won for Austria this weekend, and I think had the best song and gave a great performance and 100% deserved to win. I think that this victory was actually really important in terms of Europe today. This isn't a matter of trans awareness because, first of all, Conchita isn't trans. Even though some people have mislabeled her as such, Conchita is very definitely a drag act. Tom Neuwirth is the guy who becomes Conchita when performing, and he has very strictly said it's just a drag act. Also, we've had a trans winner before. That wouldn't have been anything new for Eurovision. I think what could matter here is actually awareness of something other than the narrow definition of binary gender identities we're raised to understand. As kids, we're taught there are boys and there are girls, there are men and there are women. And most of us have developed an understanding that sometimes people are born into the wrong bodies and can choose to live as another gender, independent of the biological sex they were at birth. Trans awareness is definitely very poor, but I think it's getting a bit better. I think people are generally very aware of transgender people, and they're to some extent in the media. At the basis level, we in the UK have had 2 trans winners of Big Brother. And it's not something people 100% understand. I think it's not something particularly we can understand unless you are trans. You can't quite understand what it is like to be trans. We've got nothing to liken it to, really. But I think it's something that people are aware of and are understanding of. What people are less aware of is genderqueer identities. Even people who are very liberal and very willing to learn, it's just not something that is out there very visually at all. I'm not saying that Tom Neuwirth is genderqueer at all, but I think what Conchita's victory shows is that a lot of people are very willing to accept something other than these 2 gender definitions. Conchita is a woman with a beard. It couldn't be more outwardly obvious that Conchita doesn't fit into one of these 2 identities. And yes, I'm not saying that everyone watching thought, yeah, now I know about different genderqueer identities, or that even people have heard of the term genderqueer, but I think that it shows a level of understanding, and I think what we as a society are responsible to do now is to educate further. I think this is an issue with trans identity as well, and trans issues, is that people are just not educated well enough. We're all very accepting on the whole of LGBTQ people. Obviously there are some bigots still out there, but I think in this country for the whole, people are generally very happy that we have marriage equality and that people can't get fired because of their sexuality and things like that. And I think the next step is to educate people further on trans issues and on issues of genderqueer identity, because what this year's Eurovision shows is that people are willing to accept something other than the norm we have been led to believe is all there is. There we are, just random thoughts. I don't think that anything's particularly going to come out of this. I don't think education's going to go up. I would love to live in a world where Eurovision made that much of an impact, but unfortunately I don't think this is the world we live in. But for now, I can just live in this bubble where I think it could happen. Have a nice week, guys. Bye.